From nomads to farmers, the seeds of change. Imagine Earth 12,000 years ago. The last ice age was ending. Our ancestors lived as hunter-gatherers. They roamed the land in search of food. Life was a constant struggle for survival. Then, a revolution began. It started with a single seed. In the Fertile Crescent, humans began to cultivate plants. They domesticated animals. Agriculture was born. This innovation transformed our species. No longer nomadic, humans settled down. They built villages, then towns, then cities. Surplus food led to specialization. Some people farmed while others crafted tools or traded. This was the dawn of civilization, driven by the power of agriculture. This shift to settled agriculture wasn't just about food. It was about a fundamental change in how humans interacted with the world and each other. It was about the emergence of new social structures, new technologies, and the very first seeds of what we would recognize as an economy. The story of civilization, in a way, is the story of how we learn to work with, and sometimes against, the natural world to meet our needs and build increasingly complex societies. The gift economy, sharing, and the dawn of barter. In the early farming communities, the concept of economy was far different from what we know today. Survival depended on cooperation. Sharing was essential. This was the era of the gift economy. People gave and received based on need and social obligation. A successful hunt didn't just mean food for your family, it meant sharing with the community. In return, you were supported in times of scarcity. As villages grew and specialization increased, a new system emerged: barter. Surplus goods became valuable for trade. A farmer with extra grain could exchange it for tools, pottery, or cloth. Barter relied on a double coincidence of wants. Both parties had to desire what the other possessed. This could be inefficient. Imagine trying to trade a cow for a handful of nails. Despite its limitations, barter represented a huge leap forward. It laid the groundwork for more sophisticated economic systems. It fostered connections between individuals, families, and eventually, entire communities. The seeds of commerce had been sown, and as we'll see, they were about to take root and flourish in the fertile ground of human ingenuity. The pharaohs gripped centralized power and monumental economies. While Mesopotamia saw the rise of city-states, ancient Egypt developed a powerful centralized government under the pharaohs. The pharaoh was considered a god-king, his rule absolute. This centralized power had a profound impact on the Egyptian economy. The pharaoh controlled all land and resources. He commanded vast labor forces, capable of constructing monumental pyramids and temples. The Nile River, with its predictable floods, played a crucial role in Egyptian prosperity. It allowed for the flourishing of art, architecture, and a rich culture. Section 5. Athenian Agora and the Seeds of Democracy's Influence on Trade. Across the Mediterranean, a new civilization blossomed: ancient Greece. Unlike Egypt's centralized power, Greece was a patchwork of independent city-states. Athens, one of the most influential, developed a radical new form of government democracy. This emphasis on individual rights and participation extended to the economy. The Athenian Agora, a bustling marketplace, embodied this spirit. It was a place not just for trade, but also for political discourse and social interaction. Athenian citizens, unlike the subjects of pharaohs, had a say in their economic destiny. They debated trade policies, coinage, and even the price of grain. This fostered a sense of ownership and responsibility. The Athenian model, however, wasn't without its flaws. Slavery, sadly, was a cornerstone of their economy, providing the labor for agriculture and other industries. Nevertheless, the Athenian experiment in democracy and its impact on economic life offered a glimpse of a world where citizens could shape their economic destinies. It's a legacy that continues to resonate today. Section 6. Roman roads, Roman coins, building an empire on trade and conquest. The Romans forged a vast empire, stretching from the British Isles to the Middle East. This expansion was fueled by military conquest and economic integration. They built an extensive network of roads facilitating the movement of troops and goods. To unify their empire, the Romans introduced a standardized coinage system. The Roman Empire wasn't just about conquest, it connected diverse cultures and economies. Roman ships, laden with goods, sailed the Mediterranean, bringing immense wealth to Rome. The rise and fall of the Roman Empire provides a timeless lesson in the interconnected nature of power, wealth, and trade. Section 7. Feudalism's grip lords, vassals, and the manorial system. The fall of the Roman Empire in the West ushered in a period of instability and fragmentation in Europe. With the collapse of centralized power, a new system emerged: feudalism. This decentralized system was based on land ownership and personal loyalty. Kings granted land, called fiefs, to nobles in exchange for military service. These nobles, in turn, granted smaller portions of land to vassals, who swore allegiance to their lord. At the bottom of this hierarchy were the peasants, who worked the land and provided for their lord in exchange for protection. This system, known as the manorial system, dominated medieval Europe. Manors were self-sufficient economic units producing most of what they needed locally. Feudalism, while providing a degree of stability, stifled trade and economic growth. Peasants were tied to the land, lacking the freedom to pursue other opportunities. The focus on local production limited the exchange of goods and ideas. However, even within this rigid system, the seeds of change were being sown. As we'll see, the medieval world wasn't as static as it might seem. Section 8. Medieval crossroads, the rise of trade fairs and merchant cities. Even in the heart of the medieval period, the spirit of commerce never truly died. As Europe slowly emerged from the Dark Ages, trade began to re-emerge as a powerful force. Trade fairs, held annually in designated cities, became vibrant hubs of economic activity. Merchants from across Europe flocked to these fairs, bringing exotic goods and new ideas. Cities like Venice and Genoa, strategically located on trade routes, rose to prominence. Venetian merchants, renowned for their seafaring skills, established trading posts as far afield as Constantinople and Alexandria. They brought back luxury goods from the East, fueling a growing demand for spices, silks, and other exotic products. These merchant cities, with their wealth and cosmopolitan populations, challenged the dominance of the feudal system. They demonstrated the power of trade to break down barriers and foster connections between distant cultures. Section 9. The seeds of mercantilism, gold, glory, and the birth of nations. As trade flourished, so too did the power of kings. Powerful monarchies emerged in England, France, and Spain. These monarchs sought to consolidate power and increase wealth. Mercantilist policies encouraged exports and discouraged imports. Colonies became crucial for raw materials and markets. The age of exploration was driven by the quest for gold and new trade routes. Intense competition led to conflicts and colonial exploitation. Mercantilism laid the groundwork for the Industrial Revolutions. Section 10. Beyond the horizon. The journey continues. From the first farmers sowing seeds in the Fertile Crescent to the rise of powerful trading empires, the story of early economic systems is a testament to human ingenuity and our ceaseless drive to innovate. We've journeyed through time, witnessing the birth of agriculture, the emergence of trade, and the rise and fall of empires. We've seen how economic systems have shaped our societies, driven innovation, and connected us across vast distances. But this is just the beginning of our exploration. In the next installment of this series, we'll delve into the Industrial Revolution, a period of unprecedented technological advancement and economic upheaval. We'll explore the rise of capitalism, the challenges of industrialization, and the birth of modern economic thought. Join us as we continue our journey through the fascinating world of economics, uncovering the forces that have shaped our world and continue to influence our lives today. Don't miss the next chapter in this incredible exploration of economic history. Subscribe now and join us as we venture deeper into the forces that have